15 years ago, something remarkable happened. In 2003, a new place was born, a new kind of partnership, designed to serve small businesses in Central Florida. The founding of the National Entrepreneur Center is a series of small miracles, a forging of key partnerships, collaborations, and new ideas. It is a story best told by the people who made it happen.
Well, I got started with a phone call that came from, I believe, the governor's office to Orange County, and my boss's boss, the president of UCF. They wanted to create this one-stop shop for entrepreneurs in Central Florida.
Well, I like the concept of a one-stop shop for small businesses. It seemed to me that it offered a real opportunity for a successful public-private partnership to increase the formation and success of small businesses here in Central Florida.
I had identified someone on the mayor's staff, George Rodon, to not only act as chief of staff, but to be economic development director for the county.
I was the economic development director for Orange County, and Mayor Crotty received a visit from the Small Business Administration. An official came to visit, sent to us by then Governor Jeb Bush. And the offer was to set up an entrepreneur center here in Orlando, following what they had done in San Jose, California.
The Small Business Administration played an intricate role in developing the concept with Orange County.
It's a big part of our economic development strategy, but to entrepreneurs that are getting started, it's an invaluable resource.
So when I first heard about the concept for the National Entrepreneur Center, interestingly enough, it was the same year that I became mayor back in 2003. Orlando and Central Florida was still experiencing some difficulties from 9/11 and the recession that occurred.
So I did some research and I organized a trip to San Jose with Mayor Crotty and some leaders from the UCF Business School. And we visited the Entrepreneur Center in San Jose, California.
My first impression of the concept was that it was a grand experiment, and it worked well out in Silicon Valley. I thought we could do it better here.
I had a chance to sit with George Rodon, and we talked about moving forward with this.
And I said, Mayor, you're the boss. It looks like a wonderful opportunity for our citizens in the community and the region, but it's going to take a lot of work. So it's up to you. I'm ready if you are.
And looked at me and said, what do you think? And I said, let's go for it.
Disney came in at a time where it was really critical in the development of the organization. And it is wonderful that we have such corporate partners locally that can take a lead role in taking organizations to the next level.
In 2003, together with Orange County government and the University of Central Florida, Walt Disney World teamed up to help form an innovative approach to small business development, now celebrated as the National Entrepreneur Center.
I was selected as the director of the NEC. I was SBA's contribution to the NEC and was very fortunate to have the opportunity to lead the organization.
We had the grand opening downtown Orlando on June 26, 2003. And I was able to orchestrate the presence of the head of the SBA, the mayor of Orange County, the president of UCF, and the president of Walt Disney in one place at one time. That was, let me tell you, that was not easy. Everybody was warm, but the warmth was not just temperature, it was a feeling of success and accomplishment.
My first impression was that it was an ambitious process to bring so many organizations that were successful already in their own right, to try and bring them together in the spirit of collaboration so that everyone would would win, right? In a sense, but that's easier said than done.
Debbie had asked me, there was a vacancy on her team, and she asked me to come over and said, hey, would you consider coming to the NEC and helping me? And I said, sure, So we had a conversation with Dr. Tom O'Neill at the time, and who was my boss for the incubator, and I said, Tom, I love the concept of the NEC.
I think that's when things began to gel, and I think that's when things began to really happen, when they realized that this is not competition, this is collaboration.
The director informed me that she was taking early retirement from SBA. It was a little crazy, but it was a great experience, and it kind of just threw me into the water.
I heard that the National Entrepreneur Center was looking for a director, and it was very intriguing to me.
What they did was conduct a national search and take it under local leadership. That was my recommendation.
I felt like I'd been training my whole life for that job.
And that's when we made the right decision many years ago to hire Jerry Ross, who was an entrepreneur himself, and that's what impressed me.
When Jerry Ross took over as director, I think his vision expanded it. Was it envisioned then exactly as it is today? No, but I think it's better.
When I first arrived, it was a great partnership with Julie Matthews, who was kind of my partner in crime.
When I look at Mr. Ross, what I see is a change agent. That's what Jerry is. He is a visionary, he's a creative, but he's a change agent.
I visited the break room very early after I started, and we had 8 organizations sharing the center, and there were 8 coffee pots in the break room. And so I conducted an impromptu funeral for 7 coffee pots and put them away, and we mourned their loss and celebrated their service to the organization and said, if we can't share a coffee pot, this idea won't work. I also moved the furniture around pretty regularly, but that was all part of how do we build a culture that's applicable to the folks that we're trying to serve.
I think one of the big decisions that was made after the Entrepreneur Center proved that it was going to be a success was moving to the Fashion Square Mall.
We were in a beautiful space with a waterfall in the lobby. We had floor-to-ceiling windows looking out on Lake Eola, but that was expensive space, and so people understood that we were going to have to make a change, but they were also going to miss that view.
For the best interest of our clients, I thought it was a good move.
When we heard it was moving, and to the Fashion Square Mall, we were like, it's a mall. So how's that going to work?
In our negotiations, we kept saying it really can't look like a mall, and so when we were pitching this to people, we kept drawing pictures, trying to get the vision on paper to say, this is really going to be a cool center that will make people feel at home and welcome people, and at the same time make people want to stop and say, what is this thing?
It was this opportunity to create something that was truly customized to the model and the vision in Jerry's head.
They came perhaps not all that happy, but after a while they said, this is a good place to be.
In trying to move 14 organizations, it becomes a logistics nightmare, and so Julie Matthews was wonderful at putting that project together.
It was probably one of my greatest accomplishments here, was to help him take that vision and turn it into a reality.
Julie and Jerry are a team.
When you walk into the Entrepreneur Center, you have a sense that something special is taking place. And there's even an area designated as Main Street where you have different chambers of commerce and different organizations that participate as if it were a little center of commerce, and I just think it's great.
When we moved to the new location at the mall, we made the break room of the mall a giant mural of the view we used to have. And so today we have a cafe on the bank of Lake Eola that we don't have to pay for. And it worked because our walk-in traffic increased, our overhead went down, and all of our providers had a state-of-the-art facility that they didn't have to pay for. And in the nonprofit world, that's a triple word score.
I think that it has actually gone past what we expected. When we went to the trip to the only other center in the country, it was nowhere near as robust as this one is today. So I think we've exceeded expectations.
Well, I hope NEC just keeps on doing what they're doing because they're doing a phenomenal job.
Well, I think it's grown and been a real success. I think it's poised to make an even greater contribution in years ahead, and we're proud to be associated with it.
It's a miracle that it's here, that Disney and UCF and Orange County government came together and had the vision to do it, that all of our sponsors have come together to support it, that 14 organizations live here. That doesn't happen other places.
It seems like it was just yesterday, but in the terms of accomplishment, it's just, I look back and I'm proud. I'm proud of what this team has done, how we serve the community, how we serve our resource partners, being able to help our businesses grow.
What I see today in the NEC is a more successful and bigger center than when it started. Many of the same players are still there, which speaks loudly than anything else about the success of the center, as well as a number of new organizations that have been added since then.
I also look at all of the people that were involved to make it happen, too numerous to mention. From the visionary leadership of the community that got it started, to those who have continued from day one to support us, but also the new people who have come aboard, and whether it's staff or whether it's on our board, to support what we're doing in our mission to help businesses in the community. So we are standing on the shoulders of lots of people that went before us to make this happen.
With a new home and new opportunities for success, the story of the National Entrepreneur Center is just beginning. As we move into the future, we will discover more about the organizations that make up the NEC and the ways they work together in collaboration to serve our fast-growing community.